Hello and welcome to Topham Chats, the show where I chat to various members I've met through the Rooster Teeth community. My guest this week is Woodlehh.
Hello.
Hello, how are you?
I'm well, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, I'm doing all right. So, not to break any illusions or anything, but we've already been talking for like 2 hours. So, like we're just like, oh yeah, things are.
All the topics are totally drained for this.
I know, right? It's crazy. So let's start as I usually start and ask Rooster Teeth or Achievement Hunter.
Achievement Hunter.
Okay, and why Achievement Hunter over Rooster Teeth?
Because I've watched way more of their stuff, and I'm pretty sure the reason why I watched Rooster Teeth in the first place was because of Achievement Hunter.
Okay, so that means it sounds like you found Achievement Hunter first.
I believe I did, yeah. It was a long time ago.
How long ago do you think?
Oh, God. I'm not entirely sure when they would have started, but I have a feeling I started maybe 6, 7 years ago. Could it really be that long ago?
Yeah, I believe they started 7 years ago. I think they've just gone over 7 years.
Right, okay. I mean, I think it's a long time ago, but I think I was actually interested in them because of the relationship they had whilst I gave Achievement Hunter guides. Because I was huge into Achievement myself, so I would have watched them. I probably ended up liking them. And eventually when they started their actual Let's Play stuff, then everything really kicked off.
Yeah, that was about 4 years ago, 4.5 years ago.
And before that, I remember Bernie talking about how much he loved the idea, and I was always so desperate for them to do it. So I'm pretty sure they've always been there, but things would have ramped up recently in the last sort of 3 or 4 years since they really started doing things that I really enjoy watching.
Ah, okay. So what kind of content that they put out do you prefer more? Is it the Let's Play kind of stuff, or is it like evolved from what it used to be, where it was just achievement guides, to now it being like the Let's Plays on the Let's Play channel or the short things on the Achievement Hunters channel?
It's all about the Let's Plays for me.
Oh, okay, interesting.
Yeah,
I've got to the point where I'm just like, oh, I'm like not all in for the Let's Plays. I'm totally more of the show-based kind of person. I want to watch Go. I want to watch Versus. I want to watch those kind of things.
Do you think that's because of the length?
I don't know. I used to like really enjoy like having things, but at the moment I'm not finding much time. Like getting back from RTX is just like I'm still 10 hours of podcasts behind that I just cannot find the time to fit in. So it's just like
I used to listen to the podcast all the time, but it worked well because so I have 2 monitors. That doesn't really matter for podcasts so much. I've had 2 podcasts as of a recent thing that roughly in my head can correlate to the time that I sort of stopped listening to podcasts, and instead I would have Let's Plays on one monitor whilst I did something else on the other. So I'm not necessarily always watching it. Podcasts used to work really well when I used to go to college because I would listen to them whilst on the commute because I'd be sitting on a bus for a while.
Yeah.
And I listened to them, I mean, I think since the Drunk Tank, which was a long time ago. Because at the time, that was one of the few things they did where they would just sort of talk and mess around. But this is before the Let's Play stuff, before they actually had a video to put it with.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, like when I say podcasts, I mean like I listen to like 10 to 12 different podcasts, not just the Rooster Teeth ones. So like that's why I'm behind on them, because like
no kidding.
While I was away, I missed like a week's worth of content, and I fit that just into a week. So like I only just get it done. So
assuming that's because you have it on whilst you're doing other things.
Usually while driving, and it suffered recently while I was playing video games, because like I used to play a lot of games solo. But then when Destiny came out, people would be like, oh, let's play Destiny. So my time would go into that. So I'd never have time to like watch. I'd try like to prioritize all the videos I wanted to watch over the podcasts I wanted to listen to. So I just need to like take time to be like, I'm not playing Destiny just so I can catch up on podcasts, or just be like that. It's like, it's one of those weird things. Like I do play with other people, but I do prefer being like at times I do want to be selfish. I do want to be like, oh, I'm taking this time for me to just listen to things that I want to listen to and just kind of like chill out and learn things. Like,
sure.
I think there's always things you can learn from like listening to different people. I'm listening to Robert Rodriguez on one right now talk about like his approach to filmmaking and stuff like that. Like, while that doesn't necessarily apply directly to me. He's a big fan of just do your thing, just do it, just start, and just don't give up. Like,
Yeah,
really motivating.
I just mentioned Casey Neistat off air and off air. We're not on air, off recording.
Yeah.
And he's the same thing. I mean, he does vlogs and things. He actually shoots his vlogs the way that I've imagined that I would shoot my own vlogs. Not to take credit away from what he does, because what he does is amazing. But he's super motivating because of how much work he does and how he goes about doing it. I mean, he does every week he does not mail time. I mean, he does a Q&A. And I remember one of the recent questions he was asked was by sort of 17, 18-year-old, a guy saying he's in a high school, he was interested in doing some sort of filmmaking thing, but I'm at high school, how do I find the time? And his response, I thought, well, on one hand it's quite harsh, on the other hand it's brilliant, because he just like looked at the camera like, not with disgust, that's far too strong, but he looked at the camera like, and then said, I don't feel sorry for you. I've got a kid, I run a company, I'm doing the vlog every day, I'm doing this, that, and the other, and I'm still finding time to do what I really enjoy and what I love doing, which he's talking about the vlog, really.
Yeah.
If you're at high school, if you want to do something else, you'll find the time. You can do that. If I can do it, you can do it. And I'm sitting there like, all right, I mean, it doesn't necessarily apply to me all that much, but at the same time, I'm like, yeah, damn straight. I can, and I'll apply it to myself and think like, right, it doesn't matter. I'm going to achieve this one thing. I'm going to set this deadline and I've got to bloody do it.
Yeah, it's one of those things. You shouldn't like try to find time to do things, because you'll always be searching out to try and get things done.
Yeah.
But you should make time to do the thing that you want to do, because finding time means, like, I don't know, when you're finding time, you're just like, oh, where can I fit it in, because it's clearly not important enough for you to do. Whereas if you're making time to do certain things, like I'll always like set aside time to record music, or I'll like set aside time, I'll be like, okay, at this time I'm going to go running, or I'm going to just like, I'm going to set aside time to do the stuff that I want to do. And then I can just have some free time. I have to schedule free time in as well, but that comes at the end of the day. There's like a cut-off time. Like anything after that I'm going to do is going to be useless. So that's effectively free time. That's where I find time, but I make time in the rest of the time that I have left. Like, so even for Saturdays and Sundays, where it's my weekend, I have like kind of a schedule of what I want to be doing and what I want to achieve during that time. Like, it's not strict, but it's there. This is what I want to achieve this weekend. I've got something laid out. But yeah.
Yeah, and
important.
As a little example, when I was waiting for a friend, we were going to play some Rocket League together, two of us, recorded it, turned out great, but I had to wait for him because he was busy doing something or other, and I was sitting there thinking, all right, I don't know how long he'll be, he might not be long, he might be a little while, I'm just going to go for a run, and I just like, I mean, it's quick to get set up. I can try and run quickly, and maybe by the time that I'm done with that, then he'll be good to go. And it actually turned out that way. And that meant that run was like done. I didn't have to then think about how am I going to squeeze a run in at some point later, because I just squeezed it in on a whim. Just like, I can do it now. I'm right. We'll get it done quick.
It's just like, oh, I've got time to do it now, I'll do it now. Which is one of the things I do as well. Like, oh, I've got to edit this together, or I've got to put this together, or I've got to, like, write some music to go with this. Like, I could do it later, or I could do it right now. If I don't do it right now, I'm not going to do it. Like, it's just as simple as that. If you're going to do it, you better do it now. Which is, I don't know, I think that's kind of important. Like, in a lot of things that we do, like, at work, I'm very much like, oh no, I've scheduled to do it this afternoon. I will do it this afternoon. Like, I'll have it like planned. I know when I want things to be done. But like the rest of the time, like outside of work, like, and I just do things as and when they come up, or I'll write a note down to do them once I've finished doing what I'm doing at that moment. Yeah,
and I've learned as of the last couple of months, because of kicking off the YouTube channel, doing videos. There isn't necessarily a strict schedule right now, but it was sort of 3, 4 to 5 videos a week. And I've learned that, well, for one, I've never worked this hard in my life. And 2, I work way better when I have a deadline, when I have to meet something. Because when I did have a schedule where I would have a couple days in the week where I could kind of relax about it because I wasn't in such a rush, that then led to procrastination. And I relaxed, and then by the end of it, I would often not end up as happy as I should have been with the product that I made, because I should have spent more time on it. I should have been able to achieve something better than what I did. Yeah. So now, I mean, things have changed as a result of what I've been posting, but things are turning out a lot better because it's just constant. I'm actually, you mentioned free time, and then I don't schedule free time in. It normally happens on the weekend anyway. Yeah. I had a free day the other day, and I kind of didn't know what to do, which is a bit bizarre. It was just, I mean, it was like it made me think of back in the summer holidays when I was back at school, where I was just like, I've got nothing to do because there's no school. Great. I don't know what to do now.
Yeah, I just sit around and play video games, like waste all that time. Like, oh, that's fun. Like, I had fun, but like, what do I have to show for it? Not much. Like, I could have, I don't know. I still had my guitar back then. I was like, no good at it, and I could have practiced more. I could have learned way more. I would possibly be a better guitar player now. I don't know, but that time I'm like looking back, I'm like, I played those games. I had a good time, but I didn't learn anything. And is that wasted time or is that not? I don't know.
Oh, well, I mean, I would say that would be up to you.
Yeah. You've got to realize what is wasted time or like what isn't. Whether you enjoyed yourself or not, like it's I don't know. It's kind of important, but yeah. Anyway, we're getting really like philosophical on this about time. I'm like, interesting.
We've made it through one question, have we?
Well, usually I start with the question and then just like feed on from there. So what we'll talk about next is not directly where I would go next, but yeah, let's see what's going to happen. I'm going to ask.
Okay.
You said about your YouTube channel. What kind of stuff do you do on that, and like what gives you the motivation to do it?
Okay, so I have a YouTube channel, youtube.com/Woodlehh, and at the moment have always loved football. Whole life loved football, either playing it, and then since I don't play it so much anymore, watching it. That includes playing the video game FIFA, and I like to record that. Normally slap some music to that and put that together for YouTube. They're quite fun. I like them. They're good enough for some people who don't even like football to like them. Mm-hmm. So that's good for me. And I've actually been posting videos ever since YouTube actually started, which I think is 2005.
Mm-hmm. That sounds about right.
Essentially half my life I've been making videos, and it's only been the last sort of couple years really that it's become a reality that you can actually live off of that. You can actually make a living out of doing something that I've been doing half my life. It started with RuneScape videos. I love RuneScape.
God. Right, yeah, we can talk about that later.
I mean, I have such fond memories of RuneScape that it's like every year at some point during a year, I'll be like, I feel like playing it again. I try. It always ends in failure. Like I always get on, I'm like, it's not the same. Yeah. But I used to make quest guides at the time. Actually, with that account, I actually got to 1,500 subscribers, which was huge at the time. I mean, I didn't have over 10,000 like the big guys for RuneScape at the time who did like the montages of killing people in the wilderness. I was just doing quest guides, but still, people liked it. I played RuneScape longer than I would have done if I wasn't doing videos, because I ended up playing just because I enjoyed making the videos so much, and I needed to play RuneScape in order to make videos. Such was my infatuation with making videos in general. And eventually, Google ends up buying YouTube. 2007, maybe somewhere. Mm-hmm. And following that, I don't know if it was instant. It was probably not. I wasn't paying attention because I was quite young. But what did happen was copyright. And I used to put up like Linkin Park and 3 Days Grace. I was super into metal in my RuneScape days. Yeah. And all my audio either just got wiped or the videos got taken down. And I had hundreds of them. for all manner of things. And some of them had done really well as well, like things like Monkey Madness, which was it was supposed to be a particularly difficult quest.
Is that the one that you get rewarded with the ability to get the dragon scimitar at the end?
It's exactly that, yeah.
Ah, yes.
It wasn't even that hard a quest. It was quite long, I suppose, but it wasn't particularly difficult.
The whole section of the quest as well, where you need to beat a monkey. And you've got the green.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
You've got to do some sneaky.
Yeah, you become these
shenanigans.
different monkeys. And that video I remember did particularly well. And once that happened, like once all these videos either got muted or Darude Sandstorm was on all of them, I was like, all right, I'm done. I was kind of happy. I was just so annoyed. I was like, I just deleted the whole thing. So my lovely account of Yellow Ownage, which was based off of a guy called Purple Owns, who was this big YouTube, well, I say big, I mean, it's all relative, but big YouTube star back in the day when I created that account. It's no more, unfortunately.
Wow.
But I did make, I couldn't stay away, so I ended up making this Woodlehh, which I've kept for everything. It's nice and unique, so if you search for Woodlehh, you only find me, which is cool.
Awesome.
And I've been making all sorts of different things. It's all been video game related, bar the last couple of weeks where I've actually put some vlogs up. I was always interested in the Let's Play idea before Let's Play became a term that everyone knew.
Yeah.
Because my favourite, I actually mentioned this off air as well, was my favourite thing has always been just playing with a mate, messing around. Normally if they're sat next to me is when I get the best results, because you just end up giggling. I had this great series, which I'm still upset about. I mean, it was like 5 years ago now. We played, me and my best mate, we played Splinter Cell Conviction, which is a great game. We played it co-op. We played it all the way through. I had so many hours recorded for that. Yeah. I had put up about 10 or 15 videos, all sort of 10. Oh, I think the limit was actually 10 minutes. So I had to, either that or 15 minutes.
Yeah.
And it was so funny, and people loved them. They were getting thousands of views each. And unfortunately, I learned what formatting meant with hard drives because I plugged it into my Xbox for whatever reason, and it said the thing about like, do you accept? Oh yeah, whatever. Yeah, that's cool. I didn't realize that what that message was all right, we need to reformat this so that it works with the Xbox. That means deleting everything. So I lost all my recording. I was so upset with that I just deleted all the videos. And I've kind of been in this constant spiral where I make videos, when I look back on them, I'm like, oh God, I could have done way better. Oh, listen to the audio quality, or look at this and that. Oh, this is terrible. And it's dumb really, but I kept deleting them. I should just make them private. Private makes way more sense than actually deleting them.
Yeah, definitely.
So although on my channel it looks like I've made 40, 50 videos, in reality I must have made thousands at this point in my life.
Yeah.
And so yeah, my goal is to try and make it. I think I've got the right personality for it, because I love doing what I do, and people like watching people that are passionate. Yes, and I love interacting with people that watch my stuff. So I think it'll work out. The problem is, it's a tough and risky thing to do. So we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, definitely. Cool. I want to kind of step back kind of to the Rooster Teeth community and just be like, how did you get involved there and get involved with the Good Guy Gamers? Because that's where I know you from.
Absolutely. All right. So the Good Guy Gamers are wonderful people. Excuse me. And the reason why, I don't know why I made a Rooster Teeth account. I did that 3+ years ago.
Okay.
I honestly, I don't really know. I'm not sure how long I've been a sponsor for either. I know that I've only sponsored, I don't get any benefit from sponsoring. And I've actually stopped sponsoring now because I can't really afford it. But I sponsored them just to help. I just wanted to contribute. Like, I love your stuff. Here's some money.
Yeah.
And the reason why I actually used Rooster Teeth was because I'm trying to do this YouTube thing as of, 3 years at this point. I tried film college, didn't work. Tried sixth form, didn't work. And I realized I felt a bit lonely when it came to making things for films and YouTube and all that stuff. Also, all my friends had disappeared off to either university or whatever they were doing in college. And not many people really had time for games anymore. So my list of friends, gaming-wise, had shrunk an incredible amount, and I can't really play games by myself. I long for that social experience. So I decided just to look for other like-minded people like me, either people that wanted to make videos or people that just enjoy playing games and things. Chose Rooster Teeth. I know them the longest, and knew that they had their website with a community base in it, so I thought, I'll give it a go. And the day that I looked was the day that the GGG was created. And it was either on that day or the day after they just grabbed people to play Minecraft on the 360. Nice. And it's been a lovely little love story since then. It's been a year and a few months, and I'm involved with everything that happens. I get my social experience and gaming every week now. And I've met wonderful people that have in turn helped me with my sort of my dream job, either from a marketing point of view or from an artwork point of view. And just having these people to talk to, including yourself, is huge to me, because before I just didn't have that. And just having these positive vibes from people is super motivating. And
cool. Yeah, I remember one of the first things. Oh no, well, we were playing Halo 4 every single Monday as well, so you always turn up then and we just play Halo 4. I had so much fun back then, because that was nearly, I think that was probably over a year ago as well. It was one of the first few things that was going on that was regular. They were like, oh yeah, this is our schedule for game nights, and they'd always have Xbox nights on the Monday. We'd always play Halo 4. Yep. And my favorite memories are just of us as a group, we'd split it into 3 or 4 different teams and speed run missions in the Halo 4 campaign.
Yeah.
I don't even know what difficulty we were going on, but we were just running through it just ridiculous paces.
I think we would have gone with the hardest, because Halo we with
legendary.
Halo's actually not quite so difficult if you play it with others, because you can spawn on each other.
Yeah.
But it's also super challenging. But yeah, I absolutely adored those speed runs, and I hope we can do more of those at some point, because I thought they were a lot of fun. I didn't even necessarily care for the competitiveness, because although I'm good at games in general, I don't actually necessarily care how well I do. As long as I'm sort of happy that I'm having fun, then I'm good. Mm-hmm. But we were amazingly close, all of us together, and I loved when we would all get back into the same party, everyone would be yelling each other because of someone let the team down, but it was all in good fun. And,
it was all shenanigans. We were this is so much fun. But I think the first one that we did, we were just we couldn't have run that any faster. And then everyone was yeah, we skipped the cutscenes. Damn it, we didn't.
Oh yeah, I think I must have been in your team. I'm pretty sure I had to watch the cutscenes too.
Yeah, we watched the cutscenes. We were just we didn't know we should have skipped them, and we were 2 minutes behind the people that won. And
I remember it's because pretty sure we were all hitting buttons, but you had to hit A and then hold Y or something. It was a bit different to normal cutscene. Normally you just press start or press A and it will skip, but Halo was different. So we just sat there and watched the whole damn thing.
And then we didn't win the first round.
We did not.
Oh, okay, that's how to skip things. And then the rest of it was just ridiculous.
Yeah.
Oh, dear. But yeah. So we've reached the point in the show where I'm just oh, yes, I've asked lots of questions. So I guess now it's time for you to ask me a question, and I'll try to answer it as best I can.
Okay. All right. Well, I recently just started running. So recently, it was I think 4 days ago.
Okay.
Just doing a little run. And I know that you are well into your fitness, and you have been for quite a while as well. So I want to ask, how did you end up first getting into running and getting into your fitness?
Okay, so I started at the beginning of what happened. It was the end of 2010. I was just well, no, it wasn't. It wasn't even then. It was before then. So 2010. Oh no, it must have been the end of 2010. The end of 2010, I was in Singapore, came back from Singapore, just I was
holiday?
Doing ridiculous. No, I lived there for 6 months.
Okay.
And I joined a taekwondo club out there. They were doing world style, which is, do they do world style? Yeah, they do world style taekwondo, which is the stuff you see in the Olympics. And they were just I was just getting in shape because the weather was ridiculously warm, and I was just oh, this is good. I was eating right, and I wasn't drinking at all. I came back, beginning of 2011, put back on, like, by about February, March or so, I'd already put on, like, the 20 kilos I'd lost, just, like, that, and just going along. Go through the whole year, just being like, I'm in good shape, woo, yeah. I had a great time. It was like, this is great. Got out of, like, the end of 2011, I was just like, was it 2011? It must have been 2011. So get out of 2011, I'm just like, okay, I need to stop drinking. I just got my job, which is the job I'm still working now. And I was like, okay, I need to cut that out and I need to start being healthier. I stopped eating bread, stopped drinking, and started going to the gym way more, and was like, this is what I like doing. And then I was just trying to push myself to get better and better. By March, I was down to 65 kilos or so, which is, oh, no, that's not true. By March, I was down to 74 kilos. So I'd lost about 10 from, like, initially it was about 12 or 13 I'd lost. I was like, okay, I'm feeling good. And then I was like, I felt like I was stagnating. I wasn't running 10Ks in about an hour and 10 minutes or so. So that's not too fast. I think I was like, I'm doing really well. Maybe I'll get to an hour and then I'll be like, yes, I'm the fittest person ever, which is obviously not true. And I was just like, okay. So I started mixing up my training to, like, run intervals and, like, really push myself, lift weights and everything. At that time, I went to the gym and, like, nearly every day. And I was doing different things each day. So I was, like, working on everything. I think in that time as well, I was doing a lot of deadlifts. And I managed to do a deadlift of, like, 120 kilos. And I was like, oh my God, I'm the greatest. And then that was like, yes, I can lift stuff, which is good. But then I was just like, after that, I was just like, I don't really want to do that. I still want to be fast and jumpy and do that. So I got more into, like, running and looking at that. By the time it gets around to May, June time, then I was around 65 kilos, which is what I am now, roughly. And then I was like, okay, I'm learning. I want to learn stuff. I want to learn how I can apply this. So I was just looked online. I wanted to do group exercise more than I wanted to do anything else. So I took a fitness instructor's course and was just like, okay, I'm going to learn how to do that. At the time I was still running at about an hour for a 10K, which is okay. Like, based on, like, how much I can run now, I'd say that's okay. It could have been better back then, but I wasn't really focusing on that. I was just focusing on overall fitness and, like, lifting weights and everything. But I just was taking my time. I wanted to learn as much as I could about the body so that I could try and make me the best I could be, and then I could help other people do group exercise, which is very interesting to me. To, like, it's not just group exercise. You turn up and just, like, this is the list of things we're doing. You need to look at the whole group and, like, understand the psychology of, like, where everyone's at and try and motivate everyone as well, which is another thing that's just, like, interesting to me. Where was I up to? Yeah, it was about June 2012, and that was when, like, the Olympics were going on, and that, like, inspired me to be like, oh God, I can, like, help, and we can do. Yeah, we can. Everyone can be in good shape. You just need, like, insane dedication. And, like, from there I was then like, okay, maybe I should start, like, running, doing things like this. It took quite a while for me to really get into running, like, not at the gym. Like, in August and September of that year, I took up taekwondo and gymnastics. Then went to ITF style taekwondo, which is not the one that's in the Olympics. It's the other style of taekwondo. And yeah, I just started, like, from there, I pretty much then started dictating a schedule of what to do. So, like, Mondays I'd do taekwondo, Tuesdays I'd go to gymnastics, Wednesday I'd go to the gym and I'd go to group exercise. And if the instructor wasn't there, I'd be the one that'd be asked to do the instructing of the group. And, like, I'd have plans written out. I have, like, so many plans of classes written out that, like, just never got used because I never instructed, like, a certain week. And it was just, like, all progression groups. And then Thursday would be taekwondo again, and Friday would be whatever I felt like. It'd be either taekwondo or go to the gym. But, like, I'd have these routines where I'm just like, okay, I'm going to do this. Eventually it got to a point where I think I moved last year, like, beginning of the year, and no, by then I was already running. So I can't remember exactly when I started running. So it must have been about 2 years ago at this point. So I was just like, okay, I'm going to run, because I did a run must have been about March or April last year, where I was just like, okay, this is like a competitive 10K run where I was just going for it. And like having a competitive run for me was just like, oh, this is amazing. And then I was training for it. I was training so much. I was running loads, and I felt great. And like being able to just run is just like so wonderful. And it just like by the time I hit the run, I was like, the run isn't even the important part. It's just that I'm running really frequently. And it took about 3 or 4 months to really get into place where like, okay, this is the routine I'm going. Like, I'll switch things out. So I took out the gymnastics. I took out going to the gym regularly to lift weights or anything. Or go to group exercise as well. I cut all that out so I could like more refine what I wanted to do. Especially with like the taekwondo, I need all the like strength and flexibility in my legs, but also like endurance. So the running really complements that really well. So I was just like looking at it from that standpoint as well. And yeah, eventually like 3 or 4 months went by. I hit the race that I was going for. Did another race later in the year, but from there it's just been like I've got to keep running because running you just do get addicted to it. It's just like, oh, this is great. But I've never like 10K is like where I want to be running. That's like the distance I want to run. I've never been like, oh, I want to run more than that. I want to run like 20K or I want to run a marathon. But like 10K is the distance I want to be running. But that's about it. But yeah, it just gets a progression that you want to see, and that's where it goes. So yeah, lots of stuff. See, this is what happened last week. Just like I get asked a question, and like I could give an answer in like 2 minutes or so, and then I stretch it out to 7 minutes, and I'm just like, okay, yeah, I should stop there.
But yeah, if it turns out that in like a year I'm doing like an Iron Maiden, then I can be like, hey, I mean, I started 3 or 4 days ago. I had this chat with Topham about his progression over the years, and then it's like, boom, it happened to me too. Whoa.
Yeah, like I hear a lot of that. Like people just like, oh yeah, I started and then I didn't want to stop. And I was like, that's exactly what happens. It is just exactly what happens. Like people just start doing things. They're like, oh, that felt good. And the next day they're just like, that didn't feel so good. But then,
yeah,
like,
that is the trouble.
Like 2 days later, they're just like, oh, maybe I should give it a go again.
Yeah, I feel like there's two groups of people. You've got the people who do it the first time and it's great and they think I should do this more often. Then you've got the people that do that same thing but maybe push themselves a little too hard. So on day 2, they're like, oh, my body, and then think, I will never do that again. Yeah. And unfortunately, I've done that a couple times. I used to be so fit when I was a kid. My God, I could just run very quickly forever. Yeah. That is no longer the case.
Yeah, that's one of the things. Like you've got to learn that there are days when you shouldn't run, and there are days when you can run, and there are days when you can't run. But there's days when you also should run, and when you shouldn't run. So if there's days where you feel like you can't run, you should run those days. It's just like, okay. But if there's days where you like shouldn't run, like, oh, today I woke up and I'm just like, I'm feeling good, but I ran yesterday. I know I've got training tomorrow, and I've got my black belt coming up, so I'm just like, I should absolutely rest today so that I don't overwork myself, because during the week I know I have potentially one day off. Like it's either Wednesdays or Fridays, and it just depends on like how the week goes and like how the weekend before's gone and where I'm feeling on Wednesday. So it's just...
My sister, she's a dancer, and I mean, she also does singing and all sorts of other stuff as well. But I've learned quite. I mean, she's learned a lot of biology as a result, and she has to learn her body very well in order to be able to truly prepare for. I mean, she's got to get the optimum performance when she goes for an audition or whatever it is, or for actual show. And it's been interesting. I sort of pick up tidbits in her sort of process, which leads up to something, and it can start like weeks before, and she's already sort of resting. To sort of trying to listen to her body and make sure it's in the right condition. And I've never done anything quite like that. I mean, maybe the day before a football match, I'll be like, oh, I probably shouldn't go running around so much because I'll be tired. Not weeks before, though. I mean, that's something else.
Yeah, no,
that's
like one of the things I look at. Yeah, one of the things I look at, like specifically, is like my diet as well. So like I know I can't have anything sugary or sweet during the day because that'll throw off like where my energy levels are at the evening. So like I make most of my food at like weekends, and I'll have like certain sizes of pots that I can have filled with food. And like, that's it. That's definitely a meal. And it might not look like much, and it might look like I'm under eating, but it's exactly how much I need to get me through. And then I've got like apples and bananas that go alongside that as well to just give me the right energy at the right time. So it's just like I've been focused on all of that for like 3.5 years, that I know exactly where I am, like what I can eat in certain days and like what I can't. So I know, yeah, I've basically planned everything out. Like, it all comes back to planning things out, really. For
Yeah,
me,
you
just,
sound
like, I plan
incredibly
things out.
organized.
Oh, I sound incredibly organized, but if you look everywhere, like that, like having everything organized mentally is great. But like you look around where like I'm standing right now, and there's cards strewn about the place, there's cables everywhere. It's not the particularly cleanest of place, but like I know what's going on and I know where everything is. So it's just like,
Yeah, it's a different kind of organized. I mean,
oh yeah,
looking at something is different to how it is in your head.
yeah, totally.
I mean, if everything was in like a certain box or something, that might be unorganized for you if you actually need it kind of spread about. As long as you know where it is, that to me is organized, not just because it's in a file somewhere.
Oh yeah, definitely. But yeah, interesting. Lots of philosophical stuff on this episode.
Yeah. We're so intelligent. We're smart.
Oh dear. Well,
SMRT.
thank you very much. Yeah, thank you very much for being my guest.
Yeah, it was an absolute pleasure.
Where can we find you across the internet?
Well, I mean, basically, youtube.com/Woodlehh. So all my videos, that's the best place to find me.
Excellente. Well, like I said, thank you very much for being my guest, and thank you everyone for listening.
Thank you, everyone.
Goodbye.
Bye.